Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial, we're going to go over user inputs in C++. So this is a continuation of our C++ series. In the last tutorial, we discussed about strings and then the data types. So in this tutorial, we're going to continue with how to take the user inputs. So the user inputs, this is just user data that the user inputs into your program or your application or whatever it is that you're creating. So to create, to take in user inputs, first of all, the first thing we need to do is to create a place in memory where we are going to store that data whenever we get it, right? So whenever we get that data, we need to store it in a specific place. Before we can store it in a specific place, we need to tell the computer that it needs to create for us that memory, okay? So to do that, first of all, we need to declare a variable. So declaring a variable just basically tells the computer to create for you a memory place with a specific size and a name that points to that memory place, okay? So that's what we'll do the first thing we need to do. So here I created a string and a string data type, and it has a name of a username. So this just tells the computer to create a place in memory where you're going to be storing in the user input. So now that we have the place to store the user input, it's time now to get the user input into our program. So to do this, we use the cin. The cin takes the user data and store it in the memory that we have specified. So it takes it from the console and then directs it to this specific memory place that you have provided. So later on we can use it within our application, so the computer will just go there and grab that data that we saved into that memory place. So to understand this more, I'll just open up my Sublime Text, and I've created a file over here called the user output.cpp, but it's actually just user input.cpp, okay? So the first thing we need to do is just to create the basic C++ structure, and then I'll just return 0. Again, 0 is not compulsory, you can leave it out or you can just include it. So we need also to include the input output library in C++. So we put the iOS stream, since you're going to be inputting something, you're going to be outputting stuff. So I'll just also include the string library, since we're going to be storing the username in a string. So I'll just go ahead and actually create the user using name. So create the namespace, the standard namespace in C++. So after that, we can just create a string value, add a variable, declare a variable, and give it the name identifier user name. Okay, so now that we have created declare that variable, what you've simply done is create a place in the computer's memory that we'll use later on. So we are going to store the user input, so this will be coming from the console, and we'll direct it to user name, which is just a place in the computer's memory, and later we can do a cout and output whatever data is it that we have stored in there. This is username, and then I will just end line. Okay, so we have created a place in memory by declaring this variable, and you're taking the user input and you are directing it to that specific place in memory, and then later you are grabbing that data from that specific place in memory and we are outputting it to our console. So you can see cin and cout, they have some similarities, and it's easier to confuse the operators that we use. So this one uses the greater and this one uses the less than operator. So how can you remember this? One way that I used to remember this is that this is the console, right? Console in. So there is something from the console and you are directing it to a variable, while cout taking something from a variable and you are directing it to the console. So that's what basically how I remember this. Okay, so I'll just save this and then I'll run the program. So I'll just for some reason when I do user inputs in Sublime Text, it doesn't work, so I'll just use my terminal. But if you're using Windows and you get this console, it should work just fine. So just run the application as you would normally run it. So in my case, I'll just go ahead and actually open up my terminal. So this should work for Mac and Linux, but if you're on Windows, you just go to compile the code and execute it as you usually do. So I'll just ls for now, and you can see we have it here. So I'll just call the G++ compiler, and then I'll use the user input.cpp. This will actually compile my code for me, and then I'll just run it. So this saying a.out, so this should run for me. So now I should input my user name. Okay, input here data, so I'll just say Prince. So you can see we get back Prince. Okay, so the reason why we got back Prince is that we just got the data Prince, we stored it in this user name, and then we are simply outputting it on the screen. That's what we got. That's why we got that output. So to make this more clear, I'll just do cout, and then I'll just say tell me your name, and then I'll just give it space like that. So, and then I'll just end the line over here so that we get a nice display. Okay, so I'll just save this. I'll just exit this, I'll save this, and then I'll run it again in my terminal. So I'll actually compile the code again, and then I'll run it again. So tell me your name, and then I'll simply say my name is Prince, and then Prince. Okay, so that's how basically that we did with user inputs in C++. So my assignment to you today is to create a program that will take in the user data and then output hello and then the specific user data. So that is my assignment to you. Just try to sit down, take some time to write that code that takes in a person's name and just greets that person. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, I'll also use this opportunity so that we can create a simple calculator in C++. So we'll just take in the first number. We'll just say first number. So we'll just create a calculator that can add in two numbers, right? And then we also take an int second number. Okay, so now that you have done that, we take in just cout to the user. We tell the user tell me, or let's just say first number. So the user will input the first number, then just like that, and then we'll do a cin where we'll take in that data and store it in the variable first number. Okay, and then we'll do another cout. We'll do this will be second, so this will be the second number. Okay, so this will be the second number, and then we'll store that in the second number variable. Okay, and then later we'll just cout. We'll simply take a first number and then we'll add it to second number. Okay, so to just let me just make this more clear. So we just say sum, and then we'll output that on the screen. So if I didn't make any errors, everything is fine. So I forgot a semicolon over here, and okay, everything is fine. And then here we can just end the line. So here we can just end the line. So I hope you can see it's running out, but I'll just zoom out over here. So I hope you can see. So I'll just save this, and I'll go back to my terminal, and I'll compile the code, and then I'll just run it. So the first number maybe 10, the second number maybe 20, so the sum of 10 and 20 is 30, right? So our calculator is working really fine. So that's how you can create a basic calculator in C++. But if you are familiar with program, you can, or mathematics, you can integers can only take in whole numbers, right? Like whole numbers, they don't take in decimal points. Okay, so if a person has to add a decimal point, our program will usually crash. So what I'll advise you to do is just to use a double, or you can also use floats, but I'll just use double. It's much safer. Double. Okay, so I'll just save this, and then I'll run it in my terminal instead. Okay, so I'll just compile it. We didn't get any errors, so I'll run it. So I can now 10.4 and then 30.6, and I should get the sum of 41. So our program is running fine. That's how you can create a simple calculator in C++. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If it was, please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. So in the next tutorial, we'll probably be looking at arithmetic operators and operator precedences in C++. So guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. I also want to thanks all those people who have been supporting my channel. I have reached 200 subscribers. Thanks guys. Please keep supporting my channel.